Let's see. Says it's streaming. Says it's streaming. It looks good. Looks like it's on. Cool. All right, even got a notification. Always a nice rarity. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully quite well. Pretty rainy up here by me, which is, you know, it is what it is. Certainly not ideal. I should have made that a little lower on the logo. I don't know if anyone's going to show up to the stream tonight. I mean, we'll see. What's going on, Thunder? Oop, another ad. Ooh, yeah. There we go. What's up, Sean? How you doing? I figure people are here. It's just, you know, slower start. I mean, actually, it's picking up pretty good. Cool. How's everybody doing? Tonight, I think it would be kind of fun, kind of interesting to talk about some of the rule changes, then quickly do a power ranking afterward. I guess the power ranking would be more the long meat of the stream, because that might take a minute for everybody to get their ideas out, get their thoughts out. Oh, how was work? Hopefully it was good. Plus, then, you know, we have some time to really look at these new rules and kind of talk about it and, you know, just get our thoughts out there. And, yeah. Not a big fan. I think a lot of people are a little bit thrown off by the pitching clock right now. It's certainly taken a little bit of like getting used to for everybody. The fans anyway. I hope the players are used to it. The Guardians aren't, but like, you know, a lot of teams are. Hopefully, Lions Plant, how you doing? You drive a truck? Ooh, yeah, so that kind of, yeah, that would really suck. Especially if you're in Michigan today. It's been raining like a bitch all day. Sorry to hear, man. Hopefully your day gets better. They had a bunch of pitch clock violations the other night versus the Mariners. They were kind of like, they just seemed like a little bit off with it still. Like it wasn't like Karinchak and what's weird is I don't think he went to the World Baseball Classic. I don't remember him anyway. And it's like, how did you just spend a whole month with the clock and not have it like completely down pat? Like I understand like guys who went to the Classic having like a little bit of a weird struggle with it right away. But like everybody else, it's like, come on, man, you've been here for a minute. Yeah, we can definitely talk about like the no shifting, or well, at least you have to have at least a foot on, you know, either side of second base. You have to be two guys on either side. Certainly has led to more runs. It's led to higher batting averages right away after at least the first game. There was 20 stolen bases yesterday, which is pretty crazy, and only 2 guys got caught compared to 6 last year. Just for like a fun thing to think about. If you didn't think the bigger bases were going to be like impactful or mean anything, it's quite, I think it's quite, and I think they shrunk the base pass a little bit, which has made all the difference. Literally, there's like I don't even know what percentage increase that is to go from like, I think it was 6 on opening day in 2022 to 20 out of 22 attempts, which is insanity. What did Baltimore do? Oh, Baltimore stole 5 uncontested. That's probably your own internet, Thunder. Sorry to tell you. I quite literally have perfect connection at this point. My playback's been good. I've dropped 0 frames. I haven't gone below 2,000 kilobytes per second. If you're having problems, yeah, that's you, buddy. Yeah, everything seems to be improving things slowly. So yeah, well, it's your own problem. You seem to be the only person experiencing this dilemma. But regarding the pitch clock, yeah, I think it's pretty solid. Overall, I think it's a good thing. And I know that's going to be kind of not what everybody thinks. He wouldn't throw to second. Oh, that's weird. It's weird that he just didn't throw down to second base. I wonder if he has like an arm injury or something that's kind of like unchecked. But you guys are going to be a wagon this year. You guys are going to be a fucking problem. Adley Rutschman will probably pretty quickly ascend to one of the best catchers in baseball, if not the best. But I do wonder if, like, because he's 6'2", right, and he's such a good hitter and such a good like fielder, I do wonder if they move him from catcher soon. Because typically, like, 6'2" is like right on that borderline of like, is the catcher too tall? Is this the right size? And that's a real worry with the catcher position, because again, the knees straight, bend straight, bend straight. Yeah, Adley single-handedly. Yeah, he went like 5 for 5. He's a literal menace, dude. White Sox, they could have a playoff run. Just depends how the rest of the season plays out. It's pretty early in the season. And I do think that one thing you have to consider is the Guardians are probably the worst team in baseball generally for the first 2 weeks of the season. So, like, again, these first few weeks, especially early April, it's really hard to like take anything serious from it. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe after one game, if you're already declaring a World Series, you're watching the wrong sport. Yeah, they'll be good. Yeah, they'll probably win the division with or the AL Central with very little like combattery by the end of the season. Yeah. Unless Stephen Kwan and like unless their whole team just regresses. I think so, yeah. You kind of have to remember one of the things about the Guardians last year is they're not really a team of veterans. They're a team of very young baseball players that was very good last year. Okay. You can think so. But what position do they have weaknesses in other than the catcher position? I'll wait your answer. Yeah, Twins are every year they could be a threat. Those are my two top teams to win the division. I have it the AL Central as like the Guardians and then the Twins. And that is because I think the Guardians, again, they're a shitty. Everybody who watches baseball knows that the Guardians suck for 2 weeks. It's like their incubation period. It's kind of like the trademark of a Terry Francona team. If I remember right, a lot of the Red Sox teams that he used to coach were also pretty bad early in the season. And then by like May, they're, fucking juggernauts. Didn't the Twins have a second baseman that won the Platinum Glove last year? Like, didn't Jimenez literally win a Platinum Glove or like contend for it and win a Gold Glove? I don't think second base is anywhere near what you would consider a problem for the Guardians. What's your unpopular opinion on the Yankees? I just saw the Twins versus Sox in spring training. Yeah, Twins are a problem. Yeah, they can hit really well. As long as they're not like the Twins have like a weird pattern where it's like 1 year they'll be really good, and then the next year with the exact same team, no changes, only big additions, they somehow get fucking like way worse. And then the very next year with the exact same team, they'll be right back to what they used to. It's kind of hard to predict the Twins. The only thing you could be sure about with Minnesota and the Twins is if they make the playoffs, they're going to lose in the playoffs. I think they finish 4th. Maybe if injuries happen. Like if the pitching staff that's already pretty beat up by injuries continue, but it's early. All those injuries could be done by May and they dominate. But I mean, it's possible. I mean, the Rays could be really good. Orioles can be really good. The Red Sox are questionable. Yeah, that's the division. Rendon. Is he out for the year? Minnesota hasn't won a playoff game since October of 2004. The Guardians have been to the World Series at least since then. No, one thing you can count on in baseball is if the Minnesota Twins make the playoffs, they're probably going to lose all 4 games pretty quick. Oh, they literally just haven't won a playoff game. I'm not even joking. You could look this up. This team is a regular playoff team. And they haven't been in that bitch. They haven't won a game since the year 2004. It's one of the craziest things ever because they're like a regular team that makes it. Red Sox, yeah, you guys should be pretty good. When do you think Marcelo Mayer makes his debut? Again, I have no problem with the Red Sox. I'm a huge Patriots fan, Jordan. So I've always had this weird, like, I hate your team because of the pain they've caused the Tigers, but it's also like, I don't mind if the Red Sox win because it's like, brings a good portion of my fans a really happy time. They'll take it easier on the goddamn Patriots, maybe. Don't be so rough on them. They're doing their best. But yeah, I think the Red Sox could be pretty good. They're a very young team, though. It's gonna be tough to compete in your division with the Rays, Orioles, and Yankees. That's a nightmare, That's a nightmare. I think Valetti struggles. Stanton will. We'll see. We'll see with the Yankees. We'll see, Sean. I mean, you guys have the team to compete. It's going to be very fun to watch the new Rise Orioles as long as you guys can keep that swagger that you guys had last year. Yeah, he's a shortstop. He's like he's probably your top prospect in your organization. I would have to argue. Mainly just because he's so high rated in at the MLB pipeline prospects and stuff like that. No, that's probably the Royals. Every single baseball expert has the Kansas City Royals finishing in last, but I mean, okay. Jays, Rays. I keep forgetting about the Blue Jays. Jays, Rays, Orioles, Yanks, and Boston. Okay. I mean, all those teams could have really good records, by the way. AL East could be the best division in the American League. Oh wait, I forget. There's only like 3 divisions though, so it's like that's not even that hard, dude. The AL Central is complete garbage. The American League West is questionable year to year, and that just leaves the AL East to be number 1. But yeah, I don't know. I think we could get started on more of the like a focus thing. But again, if you guys just want to talk about random things, I'll do that too. That's completely fine. But one of the things I was thinking around the pitch timer is it seems like there's a couple things people have problems with, right? Yeah, I mean, typically, yeah, because the Yankees, Red Sox, and another team's usually pretty solid out there too. Because right now it seems one of the biggest problems, like when you watch the violations, it almost seems like every single one of them occurs. Like no one's ever like just staring somebody down. It's always like the pitcher's about to throw it or the batter's like looking up at the 8th second. And it's like, oh my God, is that really the, like, cause go watch all the violations. I'm sure there's a compilation and look how like close it is to just not being a violation and it not being a problem. Because again, if there would be no violations, nobody would mentally care about. They'd be like, "This is one of the best things that's ever been created. This pitch clock, right?" It's just that when their team gets hit with a violation, it's very upsetting. You're not mad at the new rule. You're mad at your dipshit player for not doing it a little quicker, and it's fine. And again, I do think that there is this element of the pitchers being rushed, and I didn't kind of contemplate that. I'm like, all right, it does seem like there's some bad pitching going on as a result of this rule change. Again, when I think every team except for the Tigers scored like 5, every team that scored runs yesterday was beating the shit out of the ball. And again, I think that has to do with the removal of the shift, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I think that's a very important factor in the rise of the runs. Because again, ground ball base hits are base hits again. Guys don't have to swing for home runs or strike out. If you didn't notice, a lot of guys all of a sudden yesterday were just like, I'm taking base hits up the middle again. I seen so many ground ball. I seen a guy who bats right-handed. Tell me if you think this is impossible to see. I seen a guy who everybody knows is a dead pull hitter, right? He comes up, he hits the ball on the ground to the right side of the infield. and get that ball gets by the second baseman on the ground. It wasn't. It was just, hey, the second baseman wasn't able to get it, and he had a base hit in the right field on the ground. Some of you guys, I'll be honest, if you just started watching baseball 4 years ago, you didn't even know that was possible, did you? You didn't even know that was a big part of baseball's history up until like 2014, 15, when they ruined the fucking game with the shifting. The shift rule needs to. What's up, Amir? The shift rule is good. It's good. It's fundamentally good for baseball. You know why? Because pitchers figured out how to pitch with the shift, right? You can essentially eliminate the ground ball because of the shift. Now, I love the shift rule. I think it's going to save baseball. That and the pitch clock rule. I think these are going to fundamentally save the game of baseball. And I say that because with the shifting rule, and what the problem was is these are very trained, highly professional pitchers, right? And always the common argument against it was always like, just hit the ball the other way. All right, so you think it's that easy? You think it's that easy to hit a baseball? All right, it's not, first and foremost. Number two, these pitchers, these little cocksucking bastards, do you know what they're experts at? Most of these guys are control experts. So, you know what you do? There's a pull hitter up, right? And he's going to try to hit the ball the other way. So you know what you do? You jam the shit out of him. You give him nothing away. And hey, maybe he turns on it and fucking sends it out. But guess what? If he hits it, but hey, keep it low, throw something that kind of juts down. How the fuck is he ever going to hit that ball the other way? Please explain to me how somebody getting jammed, because that's what was happening, by the way. They just jam it inside on people or pitch it away from a guy. Like it's like the cheapest fuck. Like these pitchers are so good, they can make it so you can't hit it the other way, or you have to have some crazy fucking control to do that. And some guys do. There's like 10 guys that were like monsters that just hitting the ball the other way. But again, smart pitchers, you'll never get like low and inside, just low inside, sinker low and inside, sinker low and inside. It's called they were pitching into the shift. And that is a problem for me because that is not good baseball. It's bad pitching. And now pitchers are going to suffer for that for a few months because now they have to learn how to pitch again. Now it can't be just, I'm going to pitch into the shift and get a free out. Or get a shitty weak ball hit to the, because they're trying to think about, because batters are overthinking it. They're like, all right, I have to think about like where the shift is, where I'm going to hit this. Can I go the other way? Where the pitch is? Do I have time to react to hit it the other way? Now it's just, I'm going to fucking hit it. And now you have these pitchers that are like, oh, shit, I can't confuse them. I actually have to think about like pitching theory again and go like, all right, I got a 1-2 count and I've been pitching low. So I probably should go upstairs and try to voom and buy him. And instead, it's not just cheap pitching anymore. You actually have to try to pitch again. It's bringing back elements of the game that people don't think about. Now bunts are back. Bunts are in play again. Small ball can return. Like everyone's always like, it was good. It's good strategy. It's lazy goddamn strategy. Do you see how bad some of these second basemen are at fielding baseballs? Isn't that fun to discover? How Jonathan Scope can't field baseballs. There was like 5 or 6 baseballs hit up the middle that Jonathan Scope against the Rays should have fielded clean. As good as he is at second base, according to the shift game, according to, what's up, Max? According to the shift, right? The shift that was magical and was saving baseball or whatever the fuck people argue for it. Jonathan Scope was a platinum glove caliber defender. He finished like 3rd in the running for that award. And he had 5 balls that should have been fielded by a competent second baseman instantaneously. There was zero reason Scope should have had those like 4 singles that went right by him, go by him. In a shift, he would have had all of them. White Sox look good without La Russa. Yeah, that's expected though. I mean, La Russa's La Russa needed to go. Dude, we lost that game because of Scope. Like there was at least 4. There was the game would have been 2-0 because they did hit home runs. I forgot about those. But it would have been 2-0. Like Scope was directly responsible for like 4 hits. And it was like, dude, he could have fielded all of those. Those weren't hard hit balls. They weren't tricky. Scope's just a slow, bad fielder. And without the shift, you can't cover for those in discrepancies. You can't cover up these issues. Yeah, I didn't think about White Sox. I forgot they fired La Russa. Or, well, he stepped away or whatever the hell happened. Oh, that's a problem. I was hoping they just made bad moves, but apparently they did everything good. So that's kind of why I'm for it, Jordan. And again, I understand why people might not like the shift being banned, because again, I kind of like the shift too, right? I like that it's like a defensive option people have. Yeah, Rangers. Rangers are all right too. I mean, hey, DeGrom did not look good, but no one looked good. Again, I think pitchers are going to have to, again, like I was just talking about, pitchers are going to have to readjust to baseball without the shift. And that's going to take them a second to remember how to pitch without it. Yeah, my team is one of the worst. Any team that's managed by AJ Hinch is one of the worst fucking people ever. Oh yeah, there's gonna be some great plays. Do you guys see Hunter Renfro's over the shoulder catch? He took the worst route I've ever seen. And then he just kind of went, yeah, and then came down with the baseball. I'm like, oh, baseball's so back. I'm so happy. Rangers spent some serious money. Rockies are up 10-2-0 in the bottom of the first. Oh fuck. I think they. Oh yeah, did you guys hear about what happened with what's up, Crom? Did you guys hear what happened with Anthony Rendon? Oh Jesus Christ! He like some fan was like heckling him, and like Rendon like grabbed his shirt or something. He like grabbed a shirt or something and like swung right above his like right at him, but like missed him on purpose. Oh, holy shit, dude! Makes you wonder how Mets defensive will be. Buck use the shift. Yeah, the Tigers too. A lot of players will get exposed. Sean. Rendon, not Rendon. No, I just say words funny. McClanahan for the Rays looked elite. Dude, McClanahan beat the hell out of us, Matt. He destroyed the Detroit Tigers. It was brutal. Yeah, that was really bad. He's gonna get in some trouble, Max. Did the Rangers win yesterday? I thought DeGrom got bullied. I don't know. Oh, they wound up winning. Oof. I can't believe AJ Hinch just got awful with Detroit. No, he's a good manager. No, AJ Hinch is at the Spider. The Tigers would be much worse without AJ Hinch. No, AJ Hinch is our GM now too, by the way. AJ Hinch is the only reason we're like able to compete at all. Like without him, we'd be a fucking dumpster fire. No, praise be to AJ Hinch. He's doing all he can with what was a retarded general manager in Alavila. That was bad. Plus, our owner is really kind of being cheap about shit right now. Really help teams like Baltimore, Atlanta, Cleveland, and Seattle for the most. Yeah, it'll help a lot of teams. I think it'll help hitting all together. I appreciate you, James. Thanks for the like. I appreciate everyone who's dropped a like so far. If you haven't done so, consider doing so. Helps the stream out. I have no idea how many there are. There might be like 7 or 6 or something, but if you haven't dropped one. Yeah, pitch clock's been bad for you guys. Do I like Scott Harris? So far, yeah. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out. I think he made good moves that were necessary. Difficult moves, but necessary. DeGrom started off well. Yeah, then he fell apart. Yeah. So pitch clock, I think, is the again I can't really find too many faults again with the shift rule. Again, I think there could be like an adjustment made where it's like you can shift like 2 to 3 times a game, because I think that brings in, because everybody always likes to argue for the shift because of the use of strategy it does, and it makes the game a little bit more fun for strategy. I do agree, and I certainly do. The big bases will certainly be a big helper, because again, if you don't think the big bases were necessary, here's a fun fact. If you didn't know, I said this earlier. You know how there was last year, I seen a stat. There was 6 stolen bases last year on opening day, right? The opening day, all across baseball, just 6. Terrible. Yesterday there were 20. That's also because pitchers can't pitch over 1 billion times now. That shit was so bad. Oh my God. Yeah, that to me is like they saved offensive baseball. I'm so happy with baseball because for one time in their history, they finally went and like, how do we fix offense? And it's like, we did. We fixed offense. It's like, I hope you didn't just kill pitching though. No, Rob Manfred gets all the credit in the fucking world for this offseason. Nah, this was like David Stern levels of off-seasonery. You made 35. You made 355. Sheesh. Good job, Nathan. Yeah, definitely invest it. Save it up, invest it. Congrats, man. That's a good money. Watch the Rockies get to this hot start like they. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, April through May is the Rockies like season. Hopefully they have a good year. Steve Fraser got because he basically knew he wasn't going to try and get picked off and he's stealing it. Yeah, I mean, guys are going to, I mean, again, until people get used to this pitch clock, and again, that kind of leads to this. Yeah, the changes were literally like David Stern-esque by Manfred this offseason. Yeah, a lot of sports are doing really well right now. They're like doing the right things, and I think it's social media that's having quite the impact on sports. It's like making it easier for the people who run them to like make changes. The NFL is the only stupid fucking league that won't listen. But again, you know, it's number one for a reason. It's like, we're not listening to you people. You'll watch it because we know what we're doing. And it's like, okay. Baseball is like, you guys aren't watching this shit. What do you want? And we're like, here's a list. But with the pitching clock, and I think some of the problems that we're seeing with it come directly in the fact that it's a little too short. Yeah, the overtime rule was a nice addition for people. Yeah, that was listening to the fans, and I think that was a nice one. And again, what I was alluding to earlier, if you go watch a lot of these violations, it's not like the guy's just like standing there holding the baseball and like the pitching clock goes off and he's like, oh, well, and it's not like that's happening. It's literally like the guy's like winding up and like bringing his mitt down and it'll be like 0. And he's like getting ready to flex out and like, you know, go through the pitch. And the ump goes, violation. And it's like, man, come on. Like, it can't be like that. It's like, dude, it's like every single one of them. Or like when the batters get called, they'll be like going like this, and it's like, and they'll look over, like they're like about to look over, and they get a strike, and it's like, dude, oh my god, they need to add 5 seconds on this clock. Like, I think literally 5 seconds is all they need to add, and the pitching clock is a beautiful invention. I don't think I think there's a couple times it would still happen, but I think that 5 seconds, again, I don't think you should add it right now. I think the way to do it is in June or July, you slip 5 seconds onto the clock when everybody's like mentally prepared. Sometimes some guys it'll just happen. Sometimes it'll slip your mind. I think Dever is also into the World Baseball Classic, so you got to kind of ignore some of the guys who just spent a month playing normal rules baseball, without pitching clocks and anything like that. Some of the World Baseball Classic guys, give them a couple more weeks. They literally, they might not be used to the new rules. They're like, dude, I just played a whole month with normal baseball. So like that's a little bit understandable for Devers. But yeah, I think the pitch timer is the big thing. I think they got to add 5 seconds. I think 20 seconds with that base is empty. 25 with runners on, and I think the instead of 30 seconds between batters, it's 40. I know they did all the science and all the math, and this is like the right number to use because again, they've been testing this for years in like the American Baseball League, and then they brought it to like single A, and then they brought it to double A, then they're like, all right, bring it to triple A. Like, trust me, this has been matriculating up through all like the levels that the MLB funds and like various organization levels. Yeah, the runners on thing was nice. The base runner one against the Mets. Yeah, they have there's some rules I actually don't understand about some of these. It limits throws to over to first base, which has increased stolen base attempts in the minor league baseball. Steal attempts went from 2.23 a game in 2019 so they went up almost a whole stolen base, and the success rate went up 9%. So that's why they instituted some of this. You don't get the Astros game? Go to Trey's channel. He's literally just kind of live streaming the game. It's one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. Pitch clock, batters, whatever. Timer resets on pickoff. Pitchers are limited to 2 disengagements, pickoff attempts, or step-offs per plate appearance. Okay. And is reset if the runner steals to second. Can't do 3. Mound visits don't count. You have 5 total mound visits to the game in the game. You get an extra, but it serves as a disengagement. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, no, it's only 2 pickoff rules. You only get 2 throw off attempts. That's a pretty crazy one. 2 disengagements, pick off or step off. So it's like you don't even get 2 technical pickoffs if you just need to step off for a second to reset the clock. Oh shit, you only get 1 pickoff attempt. So if like you fuck up and step off before you're like you have to like move your foot because you're gonna balk. Dude, pitcher's really fucked up. I'm telling you guys, you know what this might be a retaliation for? Remember all that sticky shit? Making a, that whole thing? Yeah, remember that whole cute little debacle that nobody got in trouble for? And now all of a sudden it seems like, what's with this giant, like, why are pitchers getting fucked? I don't remember a single pitcher ever getting in trouble for that, except for guys who were stupid enough to keep doing it afterward. It looks like the MLB's finally getting their revenge on these fucking cheaters. I'm tired of the league hitting 220 because fucking half the league was cheating. And then the defensive shifting was garbage. Yeah, it has to be a successful pickoff. Yeah. The third one has to be like, if you do a third one, you better pray to God you pick that guy off. If not, he gets the base. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. He should be fine. I mean, he was a good pitcher before he got hurt. Typically, Tommy John doesn't like ruin a pitcher. It's all about like up here with a guy as good as and talented as Turnbull. To me, it's like, is Spencer Turnbull still good? Probably. He's probably physically good. He's still the same physical pitcher. But the question, I think, more so is he going to be good upstairs? Is he going to be? Is he like afraid to pitch? I don't think so. He looked like the same pitcher again. I just hope that if he throws a no-hitter, they don't let him throw 147 pitches again. That was the one time AJ Hinch has made a bad pitching mistake. It's like, dude, what on earth possessed you to let that young man pitch like that? He was out there trying to throw 100 miles an hour with 130 pitches. I'd been like, nah, you know what? That was stupid. He'd take him out. He's not like, he hasn't changed anything. He's trying to win the game. Yeah, that was ignorant on, I mean, hell, he's got his, I mean, he came back, so it didn't ruin his career, technically. Hope it doesn't. So limiting them is pretty fucked. I guess the league wants pitchers to get teed off on. Yeah, Jordan, it does seem like that. It does seem like these rules feel very like the league is kind of like, we're so tired of pitching. Because again, the league hasn't had an offensive problem. Well, I mean, you have to at least be honest about that. The league hitting like 210 is a collective average. The last 4 years has been terrible. Power numbers are way down. Like everything's been bad. The league essentially for about 2-3 years now has been home run or strikeout, and that's bad. Yeah, Scherzer might. I don't know. I feel like Scherzer is one of those pitchers that have probably already figured out a way to like work with the pitching clock to make it a weapon. Because again, I think really good pitchers probably will have zero problem with the pitch clock, and they'll probably turn it into a weapon. Because there's ways you can manipulate the clock and like figure out how to like make it work for you. And I do think that the really good pitchers will quickly figure out ways to manipulate it, make it, kind of work for them. Yeah, we have 7 likes. If you haven't dropped a like, consider doing so. Helps the stream out. What do I think the Tigers will do this season? Who knows, Nick? That's a $1 million question, I would have to say. Who knows? But certainly, hopefully he doesn't lose it. That'd be pretty bad. If he does, then I guess suspend him. I mean, can't be acting like a giant baby just because, he gets a bad call. I mean, there's a giant clock that he can see behind it. Like, I don't know. It's not too difficult. Because at some point, people are just gonna be like, "Dude, come on! It's been a couple months. These guys should at least be used to this." And again, I think like if he does lose it again, he's just gonna get ejected. Oh well. And then it's like, dude, what are you mad about? Like, you know the rules. You're literally the head of the players union. You guys agreed to this shit. Oh, anywhere from 7 to 9. I'm guessing Nick. Yeah, he's just an I mean, yeah, he's an aggressive guy. He's the head of the players union. He's a motherfucker to have to deal with. And you know what probably drives more fear relating to him? I'm willing to bet that it has more to do with the fact that he's the head of the players union and team managers are like, fuck, I just don't want to piss this guy off. No, I'm pretty sure Scherzer is the head of the players union, right? And we're talking about Scherzer. No, I don't think it has anything to do with his physical stature. It 100% has to do with the fact that he's literally the head of the players union. I'm telling you, dude. Sean, that has more. He has more power in baseball than a lot of people know about. That players union that he's the like the leader of is quite possibly the strongest in all of sports. Probably, honestly, one of the strongest unions on earth. Yeah, Fried's a little too young. Scherzer is a completely different animal. Oh, this stream died. Looks like nobody really wanted to talk baseball. What up, Kenny? Everybody left all at the exact same time again. Went from like 10 people down to 3. Oh, well, that sucks. Oh, we're back up to 6. Who knows what the real number might be? It's probably pretty low. Anyway. Yeah, we talked about all the rules pretty much yet. I think we're generally getting through them pretty good. I talked about the shift pretty good. That was a good chunk. We're talking about the pitch clock stuff right now. So far, like Turnbull should be good. Homers? I don't know about like pure home runs. I know that hey, we're up at 9 likes too. Appreciate that. We might even get into double digits likes. That's pretty good. Appreciate that. Probably. I don't remember hearing about a whole bunch more home runs hit, but it feels like there was more runs scored than usual. Hey, there we go. We're up at 10. That helps the stream out tremendously. Gets more people in here, possibly. You know, general interactions and all that. I didn't look up the total number of homers. I could probably look into that though. Oh, it's this. That's what I was looking for. It's just a bunch of. Just looking to see if there's any kind of like thing I seen like yesterday. Game 1 batting average on balls in play yesterday was 334. That's the highest Game 1 BABIP in the MLB since 1999. What's up, Ozzy? So that's pretty crazy. Batting averages were 334 yesterday. It's almost like banning the shift was the greatest thing that could have happened in this game. Yeah, MLB base runner stole 21 bases today, and they were caught stealing just twice. There was these 30 teams combined for 6 in their first games last year. Through May 27th of last year, there were only 2 days with at least this many steals in baseball. That's pretty bad. Offense was in a bad spot. Jesus. All right. What do I think the Tigers? Hopefully the Tigers can win anywhere from 60 to 75 games. I'm not really too high out there. They might. People are going to hit in the high 300s again for once. The Orioles-Boston game was 3 hours 10. The Mets game was 2 hours 9. Yeah, the shorter games are going to be nice. Even in blowout, big scoring games that like that usually take 4 or 5 hours, they're getting done in like 3.5 now, which is what the MLB wanted. Yeah, the fact that the MLB across the board hit 334 yesterday is a pretty good sign that there was some problems inside of our game, right? Like that shifting was like literally a problem. And I think it also was part of the reason why steals were so like pressed down and suppressed and like hard to get, and nobody was stealing the ball like bases anymore. First week of baseball, some teams have a day. Oh, they do have to. There's like a chunk of teams that debut on Thursday, and a chunk of them debut on Friday. They've always split up opening day like that. Some teams play 2 in a row. There you go. Yeah, as long as you don't give up, that's kind of all you look for early in the season. You just aren't getting like destroyed or shut out. Well, that's not even that big a deal. Especially if you have to go up against a goddamn potential Cy Young like Shane McClanahan. Oh. I like it, Ozzy. I think it's what baseball needed, because literally every other sport has one of these. And pitchers and hitters and everybody was just making this game drag on for too long. Because literally it's already shaved off an extra half hour just cutting down the extra bullshit. And I think if you add just 5 seconds onto the clock in either direction, it probably fixes 90% of the problems. Make it 35 seconds to 40 seconds between each batters. And then, you know what I mean? Like 20 and 25. That feels right. Because if you go look at all the violations, it's like 100% of them. It feels like the guy's like halfway through a pitch rotation. Like he's about to wind up. Like you could tell, you know, when you see it. Because you'll be like, and they'll call it, and it's like, dude, come on. And I think that's where we got to kind of like be like, all right, we should add 5 seconds. Plus, again, they have to do like the communicator devices and stuff like that. And it feels like they need just a little bit more time. I think Sox are taking the next 2 with the Orioles. Okay. Again, I like all the arguments against it, because again, I have very strong arguments for these things, right? Because I don't see any of the new rules as bad. I thought the bigger bases was kind of stupid, but then I seen how weirdly how much the pitch clock and bigger bases have helped stealing. And I think they're going to make baseball safer too for people on the bases. Specifically at first base, we were starting to see a lot of weird injuries of guys just like tripping over each other at first. Which is a problem too if you don't really understand why. It's like them bases aren't that big. I'm glad they just boofed them a little bit. I think they should have made first a little bit wider than the other ones, personally. Kind of like how they have it in Little League, where there's like 2 bases. So you can step on the outside of the base. One guy can take the inside. You know, if you played Little League, you know what I'm talking about. First base looks like, or any kind of like high level competitive. 2 first base right there. There's the one that's in foul territory that you run to, and then the one that the guy plays defense on. That is the best way to do bases. Yep, the orange one and the white one. You run and touch the orange one, it's the same thing as touching the white one. I think they should put that back in pro baseball. Again, I think that's why guys are getting hurt. Too many guys are so used to that orange base being there. They're like, where the fuck do I touch the actual base? I'm used to just running down the middle of it. Because again, you're taught when you're like, that's like, you're like trained to run down to that orange one. And then they're like, it's gone now. And you're like, where did it go? Where the fuck do I touch this base at? You're like, what the fuck? Where do I just run over the guy standing there? No, that's interference. Don't do that. But be in foul territory if you have to. You're like, I always used to just run in foul territory. What? Yeah, it's really weird that they just get. I think that should. I think that's a good safety feature. I think they need to bring that bad boy back. Again, it's safe, and it allows for the person to completely haul ass down that baseline with no fear that they're going to trip on someone's foot or get tangled up or just do something silly. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes your foot pops up. Should probably try and lower that. Could be conceived as a little bush league to the slide with your cleats up. All right, here's the official rules on the shifting. The 4 infielders must be within the boundary of the infield. Yep. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. So this essentially eliminates bunt defense, by the way. I never assumed that they would do this. But even on bunt defense, you have to wait till that pitch is thrown for someone to drop a bunt down before you run onto the grass to grab it, because you have to be like in the goddamn dirt. And that's interesting. And oh, look at this. You guys want to hear a fun stat? You know why they brought on the they changed all this? As of this writing, the league-wide batting average on balls in play of 291 last year. So balls that got hit only, what's up, Daniel? So balls that got hit last year and like went into play only resulted in a 291 batting average. That's really low. That feels very low, doesn't it? That basically means there was home runs or you were pretty much out, unless you got a gap shot. Yeah, they restricted that too. Infielders, the 4 infielders must be within the outer boundary of the infield when the pitcher is on the rubber. Yeah, you can't have 4 outfielder alignments. Oh, hold on a minute. I think they can move up. But it doesn't... it's very vague. I think it's... No, because technically then you could just do a shift alignment on the infield grass. So, no, it's got to go. Can't have it. Nope, think about it. You could still just line up a shift infield. You could just do a shift on the grass then. Teams will just do that. Like, they have to ban... No. Can't do that. Can't have it. Teams will take advantage of it and just shift on the grass. And if you don't think that they will... okay. They'll just play hot potato. Dude, they'll take any advantage they can get if they don't have to play good defense. So in 2010, the balls on play batting average was 297. All right, that's not bad. That's about when, you know, want to know what it was in 2006? 301. So in, I don't know, it seems like the shift is just slowly ruining the game of baseball. If you can't tell, it's like, because you know, 297 and 301 aren't that different. You know, that just seems like ebb and flow between 2006 and 2012. But then you go check in 2020 and it's 291. That's literally like, and I bet you if you go look about I think 2013 is the year when the shift was kind of started to be introduced. Teams were starting to really abuse it and overutilize it. And then all of a sudden, you see the sudden rise of things like, why did the BABIP drop 10 points in 15 years? Oh. Yeah, I think they made some good changes. The defensive shifting is good. Again, I think because of this, fielders may not switch sides. In other words, the team cannot reposition its best defender on the side of the infield. The batter is more likely to hit the ball. Okay. I think they made defensive positioning lines. For example, I think they just went and they said the position inside of this. So I think you could move up, but again, I don't know. I don't know that specifically. They're not very specific on it. They made it sound like you have to have a foot on the infield dirt. There's lines. You guys have a line that defines where the infield and outfield stops and starts, don't you? Or at least at the Rogers Center. There's like a white line that goes around the infield. Correct or incorrect? Like around like the outer edge of the infield anyway, kind of like how the dirt rim kind of goes around. Don't the Blue Jays have like a chalked up like white line there? Because again, they have to have that for scoring purposes. I'm pretty sure they have to know where like. I have to look at their infield really quick. Let me look at their infield. I can answer that question pretty quick. Blue Jays. Let me see this. Yeah, they have lines. I was like, I know there's a way that they have this. Hold on. Open image in new tab. Boom, 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 boom. Like this. This is probably where you can't stand. They probably want you standing like right around here. In the actual infield spots. So basically bisect this. 2 guys here, 2 guys here. This is probably a no-go. I thought they'd switch to dirt. I thought they'd switch to this. Oh, this is their new stadium they want to build. But yeah, that's they just play inside the dirt lines then. So that's my guess. There's ways. Again, these are like marked things. You when you don't have like infield dirt, then you have to kind of mark your field up. I didn't want to swear to that, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I remember playing indoors before, and like they just had like infield lines. I was like, I think the MLB might be a little bit more sophisticated than my travel league I played in, but you know, never know. Never anything like that is guaranteed. Hey, we have 12 likes. I appreciate that, everyone. Good looking out. Sucks that some of the people that I thought would come and hang out aren't here, but you know, welcome. No, just kidding. Yeah, who really cares too much about the specifics of the bases are just bigger. Type of infield a lot of prep high schools too. Yeah, like because the fields are, you know, if you're inside or like the field's all grass and they'll just draw on the infield or it's like all turf or something. Anyway, let's do something fun. That was an hour of talking about rules. Well, about 50 minutes anyway. I think this will be fun. All right, let's go into presentation mode. Zoom in a bit. Cool. I think we should do a power ranking / tier list. We'll just kind of whatever. I don't really want to take in yesterday and today's games. This was supposed to be done on Wednesday, but I didn't really have the time to do it. Well, yeah, tomorrow's April 1st. Tomorrow's the jokester day. Anyway, so there's a thing here for me, right? Like I'm pretty good at following the game of baseball, and right, like I follow the game pretty good. I follow like the league wide rules. I follow like the big news, and I follow the Tigers extremely well. And I kind of follow the bits and teams and pieces in my division, rather well. But one thing I don't do is I don't follow the teams from a team to team to team to team basis like I do in the NFL. So I do kind of have this weird window where I'm like not as sharp about every single team as like in the NFL. If you were to ask me about a random team, I could probably break down like their major weaknesses, all their stuff, all their big problems, and you know what I mean. But with baseball, I'm not as clean at this. I'm gonna put like what I put their rankings as. We'll put well, we don't know how many teams will be in there. So the way I kind of want to order this, because this will also be a power ranking, so it'll be like the best team at 1, and then from left to right, it'll be teams like best to worst. So you guys have the Yankees S, Padres and Braves is S. We'll start with the Yankees. And then I think the best way to do this is we just kind of go in order as they pop up. I think that's like the easiest, cleanest way. And then if somebody's higher ranking, we'll just slide them in ahead of the other team. So yeah, I think the Yankees are an S team. All things considered, they have a very good offense, very good pitching. Defense should be pretty fine. They have pretty solid coaching. I don't think they're the number 1 team in baseball. I think there are a couple teams that might be even ahead of them. Yeah. Oh, we're not at the Astros or anything yet. We're just gonna go down this line. Astros are right there. Where should the Yankees be then, Sean? In D? Or should they not be in S tier? Are they not a good team? In B? All right, man. Sean, no offense. It's just like, what does everyone else think about the Yankees? Where do they belong? We need your opinions on that. Oh boy, we're all pretty much the same person. We all kind of homer our teams and just ignore the rest of them. This could make it a little bit more difficult. Matt's saying A on the Yankees. Could it be what, pitching woes? We've seen 2 S's, 2 non-S's. What's up, Karam? What do we think about the Yankees? Again, this doesn't put them as number 1, by the way. This just puts them up in like the top like 8 teams or something like that. Just power rankings, where they rank, what we think, how they're gonna play out, how everything's gonna go for them this year. Nothing too crazy, nothing individual, just overall team. We could put them in S, we could put them in A. But I do think that this is one of the teams that'll probably be contending for the ALCS this year. I mean, they went pretty far with pretty much the same team, didn't they? And they only added a couple more pieces. How far did this team go last year? Did the ALCS versus the Astros? They only like improved their team. So it's kind of hard to not see them as in a S tier. It's like they only got better. Like, I don't know. And they went to the ALCS last year. By the way, Sean, I do think that your team will be in an S tier ranking, or at least very close. Bullpen will struggle, and then again, I mean, they were good. I mean, did they get worse than last year? I like the argument though. But I also don't really do my predictions on predicting injuries. That's a bad taste. Because I mean, your team can get completely hurt, lose everybody, and have a terrible season. I mean, if we're gonna predict injuries, then I predict every player gets hurt on every team, and every team has a bad year. I mean, that's boring. Yeah, didn't they make it to the ALCS though? Yeah, I don't do injury predictions. That's bad taste. Sean, no offense. Like, if you're doing injury predictions, I just predict everybody gets hurt this year. Yeah, you can't really do that. And the Yankees really didn't get worse. That's my main argument. It seems like they brought back most of the core of that team and then improved on a couple other pieces. Now, there's a couple injuries they're dealing with, but as long as those are and they are expected to recover, nobody's like fucking 6 month injury, or season ending injury. So I think again there will be teams ahead of them, like the Padres. You got like the Dodgers, the Astros. I do think they belong up here. This was a team that literally played for an ALCS. The Astros may have dog walked them, but they did get there. And they are a little older, and they called up Volpe, so maybe he has a big. Anyway, let's move on to a new team. We spent way too much time, and this could change depending on the talent around up there. We could change this. My guess is here for them. Super young team, very very young and talented. They had a pretty good run last year. Again, they went to the playoffs, had to play the Astros, and well, we know how that went. They got swept the fuck right out. Again, I can lower them. Again, I don't know where they rank on the A tier, but they're somewhere up there, I think. Somebody else with a stronger feeling on the Mariners could be like, they're a little worse. But again, I think they have good young pitching, good young hitting with Julio leading the squad. I wish I could name all their players, but again, I think a lot of us are like, we know the players, we can like see them in our head, but we can't name them. There's a guy named fucking Jared on that team, with the first name Jared. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Kelnick. This is what I mean. It's just like nobody knows the individual players, but it's like they're pretty good. Yeah, the whole team's young. It's like one of those crazy things where they're just very young and they're in the AL West, and none of us are like fans of AL West teams. Karam, what do you think of the Rangers? Are they good? This an A team? They're too young to be an S team. I know one thing about them is they're very young. And they kind of had like a miracle run last year, but again, it was a very good run. So you can't really take anything away from it. And it did kind of like show like what it's kind of like the Orioles. It's like, oh no, this is a good team. It's just it needs like a year. You'll say B or C. I feel like B might be a little too low for the Mariners right now. Because this is one of those teams that I think a lot of people have heavy expectations on. And I feel like they also added some good players in the offseason. Correct, Kenny? Or did they lose people? I mean, they could have lost people and got screwed. Well, yeah, it doesn't really have much to do with the Mariners. Why? So because the Rangers got better, the Seattle Mariners are now a worse team. I don't think that's how that correlates, Karan. I think you guys only play each other like 12 times. I don't think that can make that big of a dent. Like, even if they lose all 12 games, it's like I don't know how much of an impact that has. Yeah, they're A. Again, this is just where we think they are. They could be lower end of A. They could wind up like down here. Tampa Bay Rays. I just played these cocksuckers. They're up here. What are we thinking about the Rays? They could be a B team though, because it's like I have no idea what the hell that team even is, but they're always pretty good. Did you guys see how they hung a banner up though? for their wild card appearance last year. That was a real picture, apparently. I didn't know that they did that. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, and I think they're below the Mariners right now. I would think that I would take these young upstarts. Hold on, I'm just looking at something. 12 likes. If you haven't dropped one, consider doing so. Yeah, they're just really young, and teams will probably come between that. Toronto, and they have really good pitching too. What are we thinking here? I'm putting them right here, but they can definitely go up. Toronto's S. Oh shit. Okay. Ahead of the Yankees S, or behind the Yankees S? Where are we putting them? Tigers should be a. Hey, there we go. Ahead of the Yankees. Do we find do we find unilateral agreement that the Blue Jays are a higher ranked team than the Yankees right now? It's a bold proclamation. Again, Blue Jays have probably one of the better potential offenses in all of baseball. That's kind of hard to argue against. That's a rather loaded set of guys to send to the dish. Pitching, you never know. Sometimes pitching's a year-to-year thing. And their bullpen's a little questionable. But again, I feel like there's less questions about the Blue Jays as they continue to progress, as they seem to be progressing and like growing and growing and growing. Yeah. They seem like they're a little bit ahead of the Yankees at this point, who have a little bit more questions pitching. I think the Blue Jays don't have those, and I think I like the Blue Jays lineup just overall slightly more than the Yankees lineup, because there's a lot of chemistry also on the Blue Jays. I think that should be taken into consideration. Oh boy, Miami. What's going on with the Marlins? Anybody been following them? I don't know if they're a D team. That feels like a very low rank. Oh, that's 2 Ds. Are they bad again? Don't they got that Jazz Chisholm guy? And oh, you follow the oh, okay. You're like a somewhat Marlins fan. They suck. All right. Well, I'll take your word, Jordan. And stuff like that, I just kind of have to take people's words for. Yeah, they're right there for right now. Marlins C. I don't know, Kenny. Apparently, this guy follows him pretty good. I think the thing with the Marlins is they have very exciting young players like Jazz Chisholm and a couple other people, but it's like Sandy, and they have like Sandy Alcantara, Jazz Chisholm, and the rest of the team is the fucking Miami Marlins. Once they trade Sandy and once they trade Jazz, that team's back to being No, I think they kept Sandy. Arises there. Oh yeah, that'll help. Yeah, the guy from the Twins who struck out all the time. Hell yeah. Nah, it's Miami, man. They're not that good. They could be the top part of the D tier, but it is what it is. Now that I'm thinking about it, I literally only know 2 people on that team. Yeah. All right. Houston, number 1. I got them as my repeating champions this year. I don't know about anybody else. I don't fucking know how you beat that team. Not fair. To me, they're the number 1 team, even if they cheat. I don't really give a shit about that. Whatever. So what? Stop them. You can't. Loaded offense, really good pitching staff. The Marlins, yeah, probably. Marlins always do dumb shit like that. It just wasn't Sandy Alcantara. Jorge Soler. Luis Garcia, Yordan Alvarez. Yeah, we all kind of agree. We're all just naming different Astros players. We're like, yeah, this Astros guy is a problem. Then you got that you got Jeremy Pena. You got fucking, Yeah, now they don't even need to cheat. They figured out that they didn't even need to do that shit. Yeah, I mean, maybe you guys should cheat. You win the World Series. It's the way to do it. I hope the Tigers start cheating. I'm tired of losing, dude. I'm so sick of this shit. All right, we got the Atlanta Braves. They're clearly up in this tier, right? When healthy, they're one of the harder teams to kind of knock against. But where do we put the Braves? Are they ahead of the Yankees and Blue Jays, or are they right beneath them, somewhere in that kind of range? I don't disagree. I think that they're definitely up there, but I don't necessarily follow the Braves close enough to know. You know, I know that they're good, and they won the World Series a couple years ago, and they kind of still have that team ahead of the Yanks, but behind the Blue Jays still. Because again, right now this would be our ranking system. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, things will change when we add in like the Padres. You got the Dodgers. I think that's all the really best, all the S tier teams that are left is the Padres and the Dodgers. But well, I mean, maybe the Orioles too. I'd say they're about the same. I feel like the Braves and for some reason the Blue Jays feel like the similar versions of the NL teams. If that makes sense, how I said that, it might not have. That was kind of confusing. But I see the Braves and I see the Blue Jays as like the AL and NL equivalents of each other. They're like, yeah, these are two of your best teams in the conferences, but they're not the best. But they're very similar. I don't know. I just leave them like that for right now because I feel like I see more hype about the Blue Jays. Orioles are in between Seattle and the Rays. Oh shit. Okay. Are you sure that's where you want to put them? I mean, they're your team. I had no problem putting them ahead of them, but I guess there's still a few questions about your guys' kind of super youngness, right? Your pitching staff still is coming along. John Means, I think, is technically still out with a little thing. Yeah, and they have to prove it. That's all. It's kind of like Seattle. Seattle and Orioles could prove it. They'd be ahead of the Cardinals. They both have better young teams than the Cardinals do. They're very inexperienced young teams with very bright futures. Dude, Jordan, yeah. Man, I don't know if you... Dude, think about that team they had last year and how they, like, were nearly a playoff team, right? They were all rookies and shit. I don't know if there was a single veteran on that whole goddamn team outside of the pitching staff. I think every single hitter was, like, 3 years or younger, and they did that good. Oh, Means is out of the rotation even? Damn, what the hell happened? What did he do? He was like one of your best pitchers before he got hurt. But again, I guess your rotation has come a little bit of a ways now. But it feels weird to just boot a pitcher. I don't know, when he's gotten hurt. Everyone else thinks he's like your best pitcher, and he's like, he's probably not even on the team. Word, he's available for trade then? Send him to Detroit. We'll take John Means. Fuck that. Cleveland. Shit. They're A. I just don't. They're an AL Central team. Right there is bottom of the A tier good, or what do we? I don't think any AL Central team deserves to be ranked very high. That's my opinion. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, you are an Orioles fan. You have a better idea. What do we think of Cleveland? Where do we put these dipshits? They're kind of a hard team to rank because they're an AL Central team. And the AL Central is not very good. High B, low A. Definitely, if they're in the A's, they're going to be beneath every A team. I don't really have high opinions of the AL Central, if you can't tell. Tigers have to be. Yeah, Tigers are a D. There's not really much question. They're ahead of the Royals, though, and a couple other bad teams. Hard to judge. Maybe first B. Yeah, I think so. I think they're the highest B, though. Colorado, fucking C or a D. I don't know. Do the Rockies have anybody on that fucking team yet? I think they have, right? They've paid a couple guys now. They're like starting to really weirdly pay people. It's just like, oh, we're coming along. But I think that's probably the right moves for those two situations right there. And by the way, if you're just tuning in, you haven't dropped a like, hey, we're up to 13 now. Appreciate you. I think those two moves are right. Colorado there and C tier. I don't think they're a bad like D tier. I think part of their problem is they play in the goddamn NL West. It's just like, oh, that sucks. Yeah, they brought in Bryant, Harold Castro, and they signed other guys last year too. Like they're like keeping like good young players around for once. I'll give them a C. I don't know. I don't think they're the best team in the C category, but I do think they get some respect because of the division they play in. Meanwhile, Cleveland gets a point down because of the division because, you know, this. Do we need to confer on this at all? I don't think the Tigers are any goddamn better than the Marlins. I maybe would put the Tigers ahead of the Marlins because at least the Tigers have the pieces of a good team and they've got way better coaching than almost every team in baseball somehow. And the Royals are damn near one of the worst teams in baseball. They're worse than my team. And that's saying something. Here, I'll find another really bad team. Let's just take these dipshits out of the equation. Don't have to deal with them anymore. These guys are the worst. Where's the other bad one? Where are you at? You're slightly ahead of us. I'm just taking out all the bad teams so we don't got to talk about them. The Reds bad right now. Because the rest of the team, I don't want to talk about some of these teams. Like, what? There's no point talking about the A's who don't spend money. Nationals suck. Royals suck. Tigers aren't any good. Pirates aren't any good. Yeah, I don't. This is not. I don't care about individual games. Right there. No, Red Sox would be like a B. They have actually put together, I think that's a good rapid fire. That just takes out all the shitty teams. We can reorganize the bottom if we need to. I expect them to make a big run for Corbin Burns at the trade deadline. That'd be a big pickup. Yeah, so I think that's all the bad teams left. The team beneath me is the Cubs and the Twins. I don't think any of those two are D tier. If there's someone else that's still in D tier, go ahead and say, and we'll look at them. I think the rest of these will fit comfortably into B and C, or A if we get to them, or S. I think the rest of this list fits comfortably ahead of D tier. Those are the worst. Diamondbacks. I'd put them at the very top of D tier. I don't know. They might be a bottom C. They actually are putting together quite a decent team, and I give them a little bit of respect. Because they play in the National League West. In a normal division, they might actually be a decent team, but they have to go up against the Dodgers, Padres, and fucking. It's just like, what? That's bullshit. Doesn't that seem a bit unfair to have to? And there's like a third team in that division too. That's just, the Giants usually too. I have a hard time putting that division anywhere near the D tier because it's like all those teams are actually pretty good. And I'm pretty sure they're all better than most fucking, like, I would say the Diamondbacks clear all these teams. All right, let's we're going to go back into order though, just to be safe and everything. We're on Milwaukee. What's up, Chase? Chase, you have a pretty good idea about baseball. Is this organized good so far? Obviously we're doing it in order. It's a tier list, power ranking. Where should I anything out of whack? Some of us don't really follow outside of our own teams very well. I think we're doing pretty good. Obviously, Cleveland's down a tier because, what division they play in, but and he's like, I'd reorganize this whole goddamn tier list, power ranking. Because Reese ain't playing again this season, is he? Baltimore is too high. Should they be beneath the Rays? Again, they could be moved, but again, how can you follow with every team? Yeah, Philly will take a hit because they lost Hoskins in the preseason. That's I mean, they kind of have to. Behind Cleveland, ooh. Sean, what do you think of that? Do you think you guys should be moved into B, or do you think that's far too egregious? What about the Brewers? The Brewers are a solid A. Ooh, all right. What are we thinking about the Brewers? We got a solid A. Too much potential and depth. Yeah, but the potential is one thing, Sean. It's like you said, there is the element of like, have they proven anything quite yet? Uh-oh, Sean. Again, anything can be overruled and changed if enough people are like, yeah, we should do that. Are you guys okay with me putting them ahead of Cleveland to kind of keep things fair? Or I think I'm going to put the Brewers in B as well. And if I did that, I'd go something like this. Does that work? Or does that feel off too? Let me look at both. So Max even comes in and says, move him down. Okay. Sean, I have to move him down. I'm going to be honest, Sean. It looks like everybody kind of thinks it should be a little bit of movement going on here. How about, what do we think about this? Max, and the only reason I don't have your team up very high is because I refuse to put any American League Central team higher than B. Blue Jays, they're not, I don't know, Amir. They're one of the best teams in the American League. I don't know about luck. Understandable. Yeah, it's literally, you guys, later in the season, you guys will probably be an A. I literally am like, yeah, it's the best team in the American League Central. But if anything should be moved, by the way, let me know. I'm very open to moving things. Who, the Blue Jays? Till they win a division? Oh, A. We've got pieces. Cleveland would have to stay. Oh, yeah, Cleveland's not moving. I mean, I can move Cleveland up to A. I have no real qualms about doing so, but they're also one of the worst 2 weeks teams ever. Blue Jays and A. I don't know. I don't think they're any worse of a roster than the Braves. Yeah, it is, Kenny. I mean, just because you don't like them, Amir. I don't know. What about the A's? I mean, like, what's the actual fault of the Blue Jays? They got another one. Oof. Miami to C. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, that's kind of where I thought too. Miami should go up. I'm gonna be honest. If Rodriguez and Hall don't pan out this year, the rotation depth is Glasgow, Irvin, Kramer, Bradish, Vault. Yeah, no one's saying you guys are bad, Sean. We just gotta see it a little better. Yeah, A's are the worst team. I have them at the back. This is the worst team, and then it goes forward to 30. Because you got to remember, this is kind of like the numbering list. Angels B. I have a different spot to put these fucking bums. They lost, dude. They were really... They lost last night, and Shohei Ohtani had 10 strikeouts, and I think he hit a home run. And these bum losers had the audacity to lose that game. I can't believe that shit. Where do we put these guys? By the way, if you guys do, again, want to move anybody, we can again, Amir, the only reason I'm not moving the Blue Jays is because we had like a giant stream consensus on them being an S tier. It was like 7 people were like, yeah, Blue Jays are us. You know what I mean? So I like to do these on consensus as much as I can anyway. Sean, again, no one's saying you guys aren't like a good team. It's just like like, you know, we got to see it first. Does anybody have any problem with them being this low? Because again, they're a bad baseball team outside of two guys. And like Sean, again, no one thinks you guys are bad, but like last year for you guys also could, like, you just kind of got outnumbered on that. People came in and they all were like, "Hey, can we move Baltimore?" Like, you know. So who's the person who said Miami should get moved up to C? Matt, why do you think they should have been C with as bad as, I mean, they made the playoffs last year, so I mean there is that. But again, then we kind of agreed that they had traded one of their players. The only two really good players they have are Chisholm and what's his name? I like how no one cares about the Angels. They're like, dude, you could put the Angels in D. Fuck them losers. Like, seriously, I don't even know why you have them in C. Them losers are wasting two of the best players we've seen in this sport in a while. Braves lost Mac Fried. Braves are still good though, right? Mainly, this is supposed to be like, I don't think these teams got any worse in the offseason, and only if it got a little bit better. They made the play. Oh, they didn't? Oh, well, fuck that then. Somebody lied to me. They're back in D tier. These guys suck. I don't think Miami's very good. They belong in D tier. They're one of the worst teams, in my opinion. I could be wrong. What about the Phillies? They're A tier. Tippy top A tier. Where do we put them? Their pitching staff's going to be suspect because it's, you know. I could put them in S though. Well, I mean, Jazz is good, but I don't know why they're trying to make him the face of the league either. It's like your face is the Japanese fellow. Just literally ride them coattails till they fall off. Just literally, you got your face. His name's Shohei Ohtani. The Mets lost. The COVID year. That's right. Yeah, no. They got Alcantara, Chisholm, and Arise. That's about it. Yeah, Matt, that's a D. Dodgers have to be an A. Well, we'll get to the Dodgers. We'll get there. We're on the Phillies right now, and I think that's one of the more complicated teams. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, by the way. If you have enough to like, consider doing so. It helps the stream out. Where are we putting the Phillies? Are they S tier? Remember, they did lose Rhys Hoskins, but again, they have such crazy depth. I don't know if it really matters much. I could put them in S tier. I have no problem with them being up. Okay. Are they better than the Cardinals right now? Yeah, they picked up Turner. They have Trey Turner, so they are better. Yeah, it feels like if the Yankees are up there, then, but their pitching is so bad. Like I feel like the Phillies. The thing is, like Greg Soto's like they have bad pitchers. Like they did some really silly moves with their pitching staff. And I don't really know how good that thing is. Defensively, they're still wildly liable. I mean, Trey Turner fixes a few things, but not everything. Ohtani went to the Reds. That would be pretty baller. But he's probably going to go to San Francisco, like somebody said. And for right now, are they better? The Cardinals. Would this be right? Again, I like the Cardinals a lot. I think they're one of the, you know, Syndergaard. Yeah, I was gonna say Noah went to the Rangers, right? That feels, or would the Cardinals be ahead? Because it's really tight up there, I think, with these two teams. It's annoying that Houston has to be number one. Like, who's better than them? Rangers have a good bullpen. Yeah, they have a decent team. Phillies ahead just because of the performance last year. Yeah, I think so. I think we should give them a little respect. Where do I rank the Mets? We'll get there. They're S tier, but it's just like they're kind of cursed, so we'll get there. Padres, are they S tier or are they high A? Or are they at the bottom of S? I kind of am trying to take myself out of this one because I'm also a partial Padres fan. So it's kind of like the Tigers. I'm just like, it's easy for me. If the Tigers weren't garbage, I would have had no input on that team because I don't want to seem biased. The lineup, S tier based off roster. Okay. Where are they at? Bottom S. Are they ahead of the Yankees or behind the Yankees? In where we're estimating, like, would they be like here? I have them playing for the NLCS behind them. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I can put them right there. Perfectly fine. Because right now that would be 1 through 5 is this. Obviously, I think we might need to do a little bit of reorganizing here at the top tier, but I mean, we can. Padres A. Why just A? Amir, I'll listen. And if the argument's, yeah, Padres have a couple of holes, but I mean, it's still from Padres are still crazy. Again, their pitching staff's a little questionable. But those are things you can make trades for when the season gets going. They have unlimited prospects to trade. I don't know how they keep doing it. I mean, we can move them to high S. I have no problem with high A. Because again, offensively, they're going to be almost impossible for most teams to keep up with. But their pitching isn't really. Yeah, I agree with that. I think they'd be the highest A tier, and I don't think you could get higher than them. Are we fine with the potential of just because their offense is elite, probably one of the best, if not the best in baseball. I have no argument against that, but that pitching staff is like, you can literally just go, I don't know. It might be good, might be bad. Rockies. Well, the Rockies are the early season champions. Yeah, I think S tier should be reserved a little bit. I think that's fine to do. I think that's completely fine to do. Again, no one's having a bad opinion, by the way. I don't think anyway. Like, this is like the difference between 5 being here and there. No, Darvish. The problem is, it's not really the rotation that's the issue. It's their bullpens hit and miss. Their 4 and 5 pitchers are questionable. If anybody gets hurt, there's depth concerns. Like, again, I'm not predicting injuries, but again, you have to kind of factor in their depth is not the greatest. And I think one of the organizational issues with the Padres is, like, they don't develop pitchers. Like, there's just like none in their system. I think they have like a top-rated offensive farm system and like very good defensive and offensive prospects, but like you don't really hear people like going after the Padres pitching prospects. It's always, oh, this infielder from the Padres was traded. Like, I can't. They maybe got one pitcher sent over in that Soto trade. Dude, they also got Juan Soto. Jesus Christ, dude. All right, we'll leave them there, but they definitely can go up at some point. The Rangers are a B, somewhere like right here. What's up, Trey? How was the game? How was your congrats on the great stream you had. Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, kind of, Sean. They also kind of, I mean, they developed like Tatis technically. I'd kind of consider Tatis homegrown. He didn't do shit in the White Sox org. Game was great. Had 105 people. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Congratulations, Trey. I'm glad you had a good stream, man. You got to keep that up when you come home and everything and kind of, stream some Astros games. It's a sign. That's a sign that you should be doing that. I hope you take it as a sign anyway. Also, that was pretty good. I can't believe you just got away with streaming the whole fucking Astros game while you were just like, well, I'm at the game. I guess I can just kind of go live and film this. I wonder if you're going to get a copyright claim on that. It's crazy you didn't. I was like, is he gonna get in trouble? Loophole? Live event. I guess you could technically, like, it's not against the copyright rules of YouTube to show a live event if you're actually, because then it's like news. What do we think about the Rangers? We're on the Rangers, and I don't think anyone has high opinions. I think I put them in the exact right spot somehow. Trey looked at the list and went, "That's right. You better have them up there." Yeah, Karam, where do you think? I could put him in the C because again, I don't, you guys made a bunch of good moves, but again, it's just so hard to determine. Like, both your big moves you made last year did nothing. Yo Trey, both homers, yeah. One homer and a double. Texas over the Brewers. Okay, fine with that. You're 7 away. Kenny, just got to keep grinding, man. You're getting there. They're an 80 plus. There you go. I think this list is starting to have some pretty good looks to it. Again, we can move the Braves and the Yankees around and the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays don't have to remain the number 2 team. That can always be flipped around and changed, especially if we add in maybe the Mets or somebody like that. Red Sox. Jordan, who's a Red Sox fan, says you'll go low B or I'll go highest C if anyone says C. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Red Sox are that bad. They actually have a pretty promising team, right? All right, Trey. Have a safe drive, man. Your mocks are playing. Hey, there you go. Mocks are doing good. I have them in B. I don't know. They're always seemingly a good team. They only have like 1 or 2 bad years at a time, and then they're back up in the shits again. I don't think they're D. I think they're better than all these teams by quite a bit, and I think they're better than both these teams. That's what it is. It's like they're just kind of waiting on prospects. It's just like, if we were 2 years in the future, we'd be goddamn unstoppable here in Boston. And that's kind of how I feel about where the Royals and the Tigers are, to be honest, and the Mets, and the Pirates too. I feel like those three. I feel like if you look at the Pirates, Tigers, and Royals, and maybe the Nationals in like 4 years, they'll be around here. But I mean, very low faith in the Pirates on something like that. Where are we comfortable putting the Red Sox then? Like very high C? Like right around here? Or is that too high? Yeah, losing Bogarts hurts, but you did add Yoshida, so that's a big pickup. But it's like your team's really young too. It's like in a weird, fuck, dude. It's so complicated because you guys are a good, like, highest C. Yeah, I would say you're probably better than both these two. Especially since you guys could rapidly get better. Especially if like Yoshida can play at this level. Hey, dude, I think you should be. Yeah, AL East is a hard division. If anybody has any major problems or any other, again, this isn't. I hope no one gets mad at this. I'm trying to make this as fair and democratic as possible. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Again, the Red Sox have a couple hurdles to climb. Very young team. All right. The San Francisco Giants. I have no idea what they look like, right? I have no idea. I'll be honest. I have no idea what situation we're at with the Giants. Are they good at all? Or are they in complete disrepair at this point? Yeah, they let him out. Jags, I know you've been partying. I might just put him at the end to see because I don't know anyone who watches them and I don't know anybody who has any idea. You say B? Oh yeah, Kenny, you kind of follow him. That's what I mean, Crom. I don't think like White Sox suck. Yeah, White Sox aren't very good. But they've been having a good start this year. I don't know. New coaching. So I mean, I don't think anybody really fucking knows this team. It's weird because they're like a fucking dynasty, like the Giants. We're on the San Francisco Giants. They had a dynasty like 3 years ago and everyone forgot about it. I don't even know who they are. What team is that? What sport? I'm still mad about the Orioles, but understand they're unproven and a lot of people still think last year could have been a flat. Yeah, Sean, I think your team's one of those teams that rapidly could rise up this board. I'll find out 2 weeks from today. Oh, the Giants? Yeah. So have to be ahead of Colorado. Yeah, we'll put them ahead of Colorado. That probably works. Yeah. It works. I don't have any problem with that. They can be right behind the Red Sox. I think that's right. I don't know. Low B or high C. I think that we have them at a high B or a high C right there, right? Because we have the Red Sox kind of in a similar, like, quasi sitting on the border of like a B minus C plus. Now the Rangers have him. Ah. Oh, Tigers versus Giants. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. All right, I think that works. The Dodgers. Are they still good, or is their team shitty now? I have no idea. They never seem to field a bad baseball team, and they have all the best prospects. So, like, are they just an S and like number 2? Isn't it just assumed we put them at number 2 and just kind of move on and be like, oh, begrudgingly, here's the number 2 team in baseball, the fucking Dodgers, with their fucking all the good prospects. How did that even? How does this keep happening? How did the Dodgers and like the Padres wind up with all the best prospects? It seems insane. It seems like absolutely insane that they got all the good ones. Them and the Yankees. Well, Yankees just draft well. I think middle of the S is right. Mid S, yeah, yep. They're going to be top of the league. Fucking probably gonna be them versus some Padres or Mets for the NLCS. Is that Outman guy a stud? Probably. Does he play for the Dodgers? Atlanta should be one behind the Yankees. Oh, I'm fine with that. Again, you can just kind of reorder, this top list. Yeah, if he's on the Dodgers, he's going to be good. Dodgers don't make bad draft picks. I don't know what that is. It's like inhuman ability. And like they like have pieces to trade to become better. It's fucking not fair. I'm so glad that Soto got traded to the Padres. Diamondbacks, what do we think? Are they bad or are they like just kind of like NL West bad? Like if they were in a normal division without 3 crackhead baseball teams in there, would they like be a good team, or is it just like no, they're like high D? Yeah, I think so too, Chase. Especially if their pitching staff gets healthy, the Yankees. But we kind of agreed that they had trouble making the S tier. I'm gonna be honest. Pretty bad. Outman and Vargas. Hey, Lakers above 500. Let's go. Old LeBron James doing his thing, carrying the team. Anybody have strong feelings on the Diamondbacks? I could put him in D. I don't give a fuck. Oh, that chick for Iowa. One of the girls who went to Central Michigan, like our star player, went to Iowa. Yeah, I don't know enough about the team. I might just put him in C because it's just like, well, that feels good. What is she? Can she dunk or something, or is she just like a really good athlete? And it's just like, damn, this is the face of college basketball, or of like women's basketball. This crazy bitch. Holy shit, that's got to be damn near a record. What is she just draining fucking threes? That's even funnier, dude. That's even more badass. She just stands back and just chucks threes. 0 women can defend her. Oh, hell yeah, that's going to be badass, dude. That's what they needed in the WNBA. Just some bitch who can shoot or dunk. I'm telling you, if the first bitch who comes out and can slam dunk, I'm talking just stand there and just lift and dunk, um, comes into that league and can just dunk the ball every play, she will average 60 points a game, and everybody will tune in to the WNBA games literally to watch one thing, to watch that 6'5" bitch just chuck it down on all them other poor defenseless women. They'd have no defense on that big bitch. They'd be like, she'd just be dunking on them, throwing down windmill dunks on them losers, scoring fucking six. She'd be like 40 of 40 for shooting that night with 40 dunks. It'd be the greatest basketball you'd ever watched. Christian Walker, I have him in C. I don't know. Diamondbacks are kind of just in a kind of weird quad. I don't want to put any NOS teams in the bottom tier. I think they're all a little bit better than these teams. Pretty sure if the Tigers were to play any of these NOS teams, we get our fucking teeth kicked in. The Mets, number 2. All their injuries are probably going to recover. They had 52 and 22. Wow. Yeah. All right, I'll move the Diamondbacks up a little bit. How's that? Somewhere like right here. Yeah, the start of the season's what I don't care about that. He's only going to miss a little bit of time, so I would have to argue that I don't know of another team that is. Dude, they're paying $1 billion for that team. Behind the Sox. Yeah, that's kind of where I slid him up to. Yeah, I wouldn't put the Diamondbacks that high, but that feels right. Looks like Baltimore traded him. Oof. You fine with that, Matt? Because I almost have the Angels in fucking D tier. I could be convinced the Angels belong a tier lower. I really could. But they do have 2 of the best players in the game, so they could, I guess, get better. Even said it was later in the season or playoffs he would pitch. That sucks. White Sox. Low B. Fucking C. I have no idea. They could be good, but they traded away everybody. Like a lot of their players are gone. So it's kind of like, well, I don't even know who the White Sox are anymore. Like, what exactly are the White Sox? Are they still like that like bomber team that like it really sucks to have to play against sometimes? By the way, if you haven't dropped a like, consider doing so. I think we have like 13 of them, which is, you know, really good for the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, 13. Hell, thank you guys. I appreciate that. If you haven't dropped one, consider doing so. It'll you know, make the stream look better as we get closer to the end. It doesn't even deserve to have Sox in their name. Terrible franchise. Yeah, I agree. I hate the White Sox too. But you know, they got rid of their terrible head coach. So is that worth like a C? Like I don't know. Like right here. That feel right? I don't know. I don't really think that highly of these guys. And he looks good. Yeah, I think that feels right. They could be good, they could be bad. It feels like they're kind of like in a weird quasi state. They were like rebuilding. Minnesota's low B, right? I feel like they're almost, yeah, maybe they're actually, hold on a second. They right here. Like they could be good, but it's just also like they're fucking, like it just feels like something weird is missing from the Twins, where you're like, they were like the same team the last 2 years, and they've had 2 wildly different results from those seasons. No, 3 of them. I think it's been the same basic team for 3 years now. 1 year they were really good. 1 year they were really bad, and then 1 year they were right around the middle. I have no idea what to make of the Minnesota Twins. Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel. So whatever, we'll just put them right. I think that's almost dead middle. Let me count. 1, that's 5. That's 6. That's 9 or 5. That's 11, 12, 13. Yeah, just about the dead middle of this list. That feels right. Okay, so what about the Cubs? Like a C team? And it's 6 teams in S tier. No, those are the top 6 teams in baseball, I think. Yeah. Those are your most likely teams to be playing for a pennant this year, I think. With the Mets, Dodgers, and Braves, and the Astros, Yankees, and Blue Jays. Wow, that worked out to 3 teams apiece. That worked out really good. You like the Cubs with Dansby? Where should we put him? B? I'm fine with B or C. I think they'd be high C if they're in C, but I don't know if they're in C. Feels like they had a pretty good offseason. And it feels like they were putting together a pretty good rebuild team. Like they made good trades when they traded everybody. Behind the Twins. It feels right. That feels right. Has a good feel to it. Dansby. Yeah, I know Carlos. It's Carlos, right? It's no. Why do I think Carlos Dansby? I might be thinking of an entirely different player right now in my head. Oh well. No, oh well. Who cares? All right, so that's pretty good then. Dansby Swanson. Okay, that's right. Yeah, you should never give me somebody's first name first. That's a bad idea. I'll always assume that's the last name. Rangers playing the Cubs, so that could prove a lot. Played for Vandy Braves. I'm gonna download this. Is this what we're thinking? No, you're good. You're good, Jordan. That's my own fault. So the S tier is 1 through 6. And then this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep. 7 through 11. 12 through 18 through 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. The fuck? How did I miscount? Oh, wait, I did. That's 18. Right. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. What? Hold on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, I had that shit right. That's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. There better be 7 in this motherfucker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay, cool. I don't know. I had that right. I don't know what I was doing. 24 through. There we go. I fucking hate when things are like that. You think Tigers are better than the Royals? Yeah, I think so. No, I think the Royals are going to wind up being much worse. Yeah, we could sort out the D tier a little bit. What are you guys thinking? Personally, I think the Royals are going to wind up being one of the worst teams in the league like they were last year. Reds could be a little better. I don't know. Could be like that. So that's the rankings, 1 through 30. But we can move stuff around a little bit, change a few things. Royals, Nats, and A's are the bottom 3. Yeah, Royals, Nats, and A's. Or Royals, Nats, A's. Yeah, that's got to be 28 through 30. Pirates are worse or better? I don't know, sad man. I wish they'd just become a new team. Pirates? Yeah. Giants head of the Diamondbacks. All right. Yeah, I'm okay with small. Again, if you guys think they're good changes, and again, if I feel like that's also correct, then I'll agree with it. They're keeping Reynolds. Yeah, Pirates seem to be making the right moves. They could almost qualify into the C category, but they have a lot of shit to prove. Yeah, they're better than the Marlins. Red Sox, Giants, Angels should be the 3 and C. What, should the rest of those teams be moved down to D? Like Colorado, White Sox, and Diamondbacks. Oh, it should be top 3. Okay. Red Sox, Giants, Angels. No, Angels should stay pretty low, man. They suck. Outside of Trout and Ohtani, they're a fucking garbage baseball team. Swap Dodgers and Blue Jays. We could, yeah. Yeah, we have the Red Sox ahead of the Giants. Yeah, we're not changing that. Red Sox, Giants, and he thinks the A's should be up. You know what? Probably for right now, they do have more talent than those fucking garbage teams. Yeah, as much as I'm like using too much like knowing that the end. That's probably right too. Yeah. These fuckers feel so low though. That's all right. We should only have 6 teams in the top. I don't want to like overcrowd the S tier because it's like those should probably be no questions. No, you're good. No, I know what you were talking about. Yeah, we have the Red Sox and the Giants. I think we're getting this list down to the small things ironed out. Oh, if I need to, I can make it bigger, by the way. Hold on, let me just fucking help out a little bit. That might make it a little easier to see if you can't. There we go. I'm not even covering anything up. There we go. That makes it perfect. Again, we can change this. I think every so often we should just come back and revisit this and kind of reorganize, see where things go, see if anybody rises in mass, see if anybody falls in a couple weeks. I kind of like things like this. I think for whatever reason, my brain just went, those are stupid. And I was like, there's no use to anything like tier lists. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's a great way to keep track of like my thoughts and feelings on like the rankings of things. I didn't realize that there was good qualitative use for these. No, I'll probably just do it in like a month after like a couple weeks. See where we're at after like maybe do these streams once or twice a week and then at those and see where we're at. Rangers, A's. I think it's just the style they like went for, but the Twins have very similar. Rangers. Yeah. Houston kind of, the Mets. They all kind of did very similar boring logos. So I always say like the Tigers, Padres, I like theirs. I like Miami's because it's unique. The Giants and the Angels have unique logos. I like Colorado. Switch Rays, Mariners, and it's perfect for now. Switch the Rays. Oh yeah, okay. I think I had the Rays a little too high. There we go. Yeah, boom. That puts the Rays out of the top 10 too, or it puts the Mariners out of the top 10. That feels right for a top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that feels good. Cardinals also are very good. Don't let their shitty starts to the season fool you. This team will start like 0-17 and then win the next 50 games for some reason, and no one will talk about it, by the way. Have you guys ever noticed that with the St. Louis Cardinals, that like they'll be like fucking 20-40 at the All-Star break, and then they'll win like 50 straight games, and they'll be like 70-40 heading into the last month of the season. Everyone's like, where the fuck did the Cardinals come from? They're just like, we just didn't lose 50 straight. What? It's like, yeah, we went like 49-2. They're like 42-8. Yeah, Sadman. I think we could do a team ranking chart at some point. I'm probably gonna start to wrap this up slowly because it's been a 2-hour stream. But but yeah, I think that could be a really good way to to get the Tigers up in the top. You know, ranking the logos. The Tigers would be up there in S. I would have to say. The Tigers are S tier logo. Miami has an S tier logo. Boy, Seattle's is S tier. So many shitty logos, dude. There's some classic ones. I don't like the Yankees at all. I think that's fucking awful. I really like, personally like the Padres. I think Baltimore has a really sick logo. The Red Sox, the Red Sox is too obvious. I'm like, It's classic though. It's a very classic logo. I like the Rays, Diamondbacks, Braves, Mets, and Astros. Yeah, yeah. Miami, Detroit, and Seattle's, the Orioles. Those have always been some of my favorite ones. Yeah, dude, an old school B would be so much better. An old English B. Like, I don't know why you guys like just don't go with the old English B like the fucking Tigers and Sox do with the old English lettering. It looks so much better. Like the Padres works without the old English lettering because number one they're like they're Hispanic, like, you know, the name Padres is father, but and also because like if you look at the Padres, it's San Diego with the P in the middle for the Padres. I've always thought that was a really cool feature of their hat. That it was said that it had like the S and the D, and then in the middle is the Padre. Yeah, the Angels have a classic logo. That's an S tier. Yeah, 100%. And the Diamondbacks is always really cool. Yeah, yeah, those are the top ones. Everywhere else, Phillies is too gaudy. Houston's is cool, but again, it just has like too much of like the Twins and the Nationals and the Texas and like Seattle's. I don't know why they made Seattle's border thing so pronounced. Like it doesn't look like that. They don't fucking put their logo like that. And then people always draw Seattle's logo wrong. It's like that's not what it looks like. There's not like a fucking circle around it. And if it is, it's a very like weirdly thin circle. Cardinals have a pretty classic logo. Them and there's some class. Detroit's has just never changed. Detroit drew their logo in like 1802 and went, we're good. They slid that bitch in and they went. Then they tried a year with like a Tiger D and everybody wouldn't go back to the old English D. What the fuck are we doing? I don't know why the Nationals always bothers me so much. Yeah, it's just boring. It's uneventful. The whole Nationals team is just upsetting. The Mets. Yeah, it depends on like the style you like. I know a lot of people who like the Mets logo. Yeah, it's just kind of a cool thing. Just a classic bird is on the bat. Toronto could have a cool logo, but they changed their logo all the goddamn time. They have like 5 different ones they run around with. Like fucking pick one. Milwaukee's might be the most boring logo. Just the M with the weed on it. Like, jeez. Or the Rockies. Colorado Rockies. Kansas City's also sucks. It's just KC. The A's is really bad. I like Pittsburgh's because of the shaping of the pirate. You know, it's kind of got like pirate feel to it. Oh, Tampa. Oh, the Miami or whatever the fuck team it is. The Brew Crew. Yeah, you know, because you need to you need wheat to brew your beers, and the Nats. Yeah, the Nats is just fucking boring, dude. Let's go back to being the Expos. We'd all be happier. Put 2 teams in Canada. Fuck it. Nobody wants to watch the Nats. Yeah, the Twins gets the win because I think of all those teams that use that style, they're the longest lasting. So Minnesota's counts as the original. Minnesota's is nice. I actually like Minnesota's logo. But it's just so copied by so many fucking teams. That's true. I just do you need the money? Oh, Baltimore does. Yeah, the Orioles. Yeah, that's true. That hurt you guys long term. But we do got to get that team out of fucking Washington. It's no offense, but that team's dying there. The owners just don't care. All right, we got that saved up. All right, guys, that was a fun stream. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, it's pretty bad, Jordan. Teams got to step away from that circle, and I don't know if that's their actual logo or if it's just like the best way to show it. You know what I mean? Because it like looks different on the hat. I think the best way to look at logos is hat logos. I think that's the number one way to see how the logo should look. And the Mariners have one of the best hats in baseball. That shit looks so good. Just like the Marlins. Oh man, that looks so nice. The Devil Rays too. The Rays might have low key the best throwbacks. Because they can just bust out a fucking Devil Ray. And it's like, oh, that's completely not fair. How do you even compete with Tampa Bay's like you were saying, Sean, like Tampa Bay might have some of the best. Yeah, Marlins have great uniforms. It's so unfair. It's just like Tampa Bay. Yeah, the Marlins hats. Yeah, they real. Now they have light blue ones that look so nice. I'm like, I might have to get me a Marlins cap. Those look so good, especially some of the retro ones that they're bringing out. Sheesh. All right, though, everybody. I appreciate y'all. It was a fun stream. Again, there's two parts basically to the stream. The first hour is kind of rules. The second hour is the power ranking. I hope we'll be live for the Tigers game tomorrow afternoon. Of course, it'll be at like 4:10 p.m. We'll be live around 4:05, somewhere in that general vicinity. Marlins red. Yeah, they were pretty good. I'm glad you enjoyed, Jordan. Thanks for coming in, man. Wait for what Karam has to say. Again, fun stream, everybody. We're gonna try to do MLB talk every so often. Something like this every time where we talk about a few things and probably do some ranking stuff. Yep. See you tomorrow, Kenny. Hopefully we're talking about a Tigers win tomorrow afternoon. That'd be great. That'd be really fun. It'd be a lot better than having to twiddle our thumbs and go, oh, are things gonna Yeah, I've seen it. I go in and leave likes on most of them that I can. That I see. Sometimes they don't show up in my feed, sometimes they do. You know how YouTube can be. I'll have to double check my mind though. All right. No problem, man. Anything to help out? All right, guys. That's about it then. If there's not anything else, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Tomorrow we'll be live for the Tigers. Sunday, I plan on going live for both the Tigers at 1 o'clock, and then I'm gonna do an NFL stream Sunday evening, probably a mock draft 2.0. So that'll be pretty fun. We're getting closer and closer to the draft. We're about to be in April, so might as well start getting a couple more mock drafts out before it's too late. See where we improve from mock draft 1.0. And NFL uniforms. I've done stuff like that. Yeah, we can always do stuff like that on NFL streams, ranking uniforms and having fun doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yep. That's pretty much the plan with NFL content. It's just kind of just picking. There just isn't much news in the NFL. It's all there was like none the last like 3 days. It's been like a dry spell. But we got baseball now, so who gives a shit? And if there's major NFL news, I'll probably just make a video at this point. It's kind of at that like dead period of football. So, all right. So yeah, when we do NFL content, it'll be like covering the draft, very very specific things like covering the draft, doing mock drafts, like major pieces of like news, major rule changes, things like that. All right, though. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for everyone who left a like and everything like that. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your evening. I will see you when I see you next. Peace out. Go Lions. Go Patriots. And of course, it's always go Tigers.